Hey guys, it's Bree from the Gamersphere Network, and in this short video, I'm going to show you my predictions for the International 5 tournament. I've been watching a lot of these teams on the Dota Cinema site, particularly like the Corsair Gaming Arena tournament, the Gigabyte Challenge, the Summit, some of the other smaller tournaments that the big names have been in. I've watched those as well. And I think I have a good idea of the strengths of the teams and the weaknesses. So let's go ahead and get into it. So let's start with the main event predictions. And for both of these predictions, you have about 3 days left because the tournament is coming up. So you need to get those predictions in. So what I did first was I went ahead and I picked the top 3 teams on the left side and the top 3 teams on the right side. Because that's just the way it works out. Not all the teams on the left can make it into the top 6. So you want 3 from each side, and go ahead and rank them in whatever order you feel is best. And then once you have those 6 teams, you're going to want to try to put them into the top 6 order. Now, let's talk about some teams here. So let's talk about Team Secret. The Join Dota Twitter post recently, they had Team Secret as the winner of the tournament. And I find that extremely hard to believe because Team Secret is a good team. They have a lot of talented players. But in the games that I've watched, I've noticed that they've lacked a little bit of team cohesion when it comes to reacting to team fights or Rosh fights when they're from behind. If they're ahead, Team Secret is great because they have a lot of good players that can keep the pressure on and get them that win in the end. But playing from behind, I think Team Secret has a lot of weaknesses as a team unit. Now, looking at some of the other big names, let's look at Empire and VG. I have Empire as number 1 and VG as number 2. VG was undefeated for quite a long time earlier in the spring and the beginning of the summer, and the only team that really gave them a lot of trouble was Team Empire. I watched a lot of those games where it was Team Empire versus VG. And Team Empire just had a really good way of getting under VG's skin and really, causing them trouble and getting those wins. So I decided that I think VG is one of the best teams in the world, but Team Empire is just so good at playing against them that I think that Team Empire is going to take the cake just because they are a very, very strong team. And comparing them to some of these other teams like Evil Geniuses and Na'Vi. I have Evil Geniuses at 3 and Na'Vi at 4. And I'm a Na'Vi fanboy. I've always liked Na'Vi, but they've shown some weaknesses. When they play against Alliance and some of those other teams in some of the main tournaments, they seem to crack a little bit. So I don't think that they have the legs to make it to the finals. As far as EG, I think EG is a great team, but once again, I don't think that they have enough team cohesion and just like solid, stable performances from all their players in order to put up a good, 5-game match for the win versus VG or Team Empire. I just don't think that they can last that long. And Invictus Gaming, I have them at 6. Just because Invictus Gaming is a great team and they're better than Archon or Vega Squadron or eHome or any of these other ones over here on the side. The only ones that I would say give Invictus Gaming a run for their money maybe would be like something like the Virtus Pro, which is a more seasoned team that maybe has some tricks up their sleeves where they can take Invictus Gaming out. So that's my top 6 for the main event. I didn't include Newbie, who won last year, or Cloud9 or Fnatic or any of the MVPs, just because I see those as sort of average teams. I think Newbie last year they got lucky with sort of the current meta of Dota and early push strats and stuff like that. I think they got pretty lucky, and I don't think they're going to be able to repeat that performance this year. As far as the play-in predictions go, so I have MVP clearly at the top because in my mind, MVP is more seasoned and a better team than all 4 of these or all 3 of these other ones. I put Archon at the bottom because I know very little about Archon, almost nothing about them. So I just put them at the bottom. As far as the difference between CDEC Gaming and Vega Squadron, Vega Squadron is pretty good and CDEC is pretty good, so I kind of think that that's going to be a toss-up. So maybe you want Vegas Squadron as your 2 and CDEC as your 3. But I think you're going to be pretty comfortable with an MVP as 1 and Archon as 4. So those are my play-in predictions and my main event predictions for the tournament. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any comments on why you think one team is better than the other and I should change my predictions, go ahead and leave a comment in the space below, and we'll have a little discussion. We'll decide what's really going on here and who you should really be picking for this tournament, because